All right, hey, we're now live. Hey, well, it's Wednesday, it's the 13th of January, 2021, guys, and welcome to a very special, feels like very old school Making Waves, going live stream with you guys on Facebook today. So welcome all you ShipRockers tonight. Obviously, it's a very special show tonight, but quick first, Justin and
I'm Chatty Daddy. Nice to see y'all.
Chad tonight will play the part of host and also interview. Really?
That's me calling you. Just wanted to let you guys know.
I love you. Anyway, Chad will also be the interviewed along with his bandmates from Wilson. You guys know Kyle and Jason here, so welcome the Dangerous Guitar Tandem. And I'm gonna what this computer is over here.
This is dance. Boom, boom. Hey guys, it's good to see y'all. Let's do a little dance party here. Yeah. We were just talking before we started this. I was telling Justin, I think that this is the first time that the three of us, the two of them and myself have been in a virtual or any room whatsoever with each other since the last show we played. Right?
Super cool.
Yeah. 2020. So I mean, if you're just listening, we're in the internet right now for sure together. So
there's this thing called streaming or streaming.
It's crazy. How are you guys doing? I know that there's a lot of changes that's been happening to all of our lives, but I don't think I've seen you guys' faces in at least a couple months on both sides. How you doing, Kyle?
Me, I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking, Chad.
How is your child? It's sleeping.
My child is still alive. I've managed to make it this far, which is from September 27th to now. So I'd say that's longer than I expected.
Way longer than I expected. You're doing great, bud.
Yeah. So, so far, so good. She's even, she's pretty fat too. So she eats a lot.
Dang. Just like Kyle. Hungry Landry.
Loves
Kyle.
to eat. Yeah. Loves to sleep. She sleeps 12 hours through the night. I'm lucky enough to sleep pretty good.
Man.
So.
Those are like absolutely you qualities too. Like sleeping easily, eating all the time, and probably just being super cute.
She loves guitar. So she's already there. She's good.
That's great. Yeah, how about you, Jason? How's your kid?
My three animal kids.
Which the naked ones or the?
Yeah, I got the two naked kids that they're always naked, and then I got the furry kid. But yeah, I mean, dude, life's good. It's been busy. I have obviously project with Kyle, and then that project with Dylan, and then I have my brand I've been running. So. Trying to do a bunch of different shit and keeping things fun and interesting, especially during these times.
Yeah, if there's any two people I think that in my sphere of the world that I could call on being the most busy during these periods of times is definitely you two. From having a child and starting new projects and opening new brands and new versions of each other's lives, working in solar energy. The majority of us have been making podcasts. So it's cool. It's cool to see it all go down. I'm not going to take up, but I just wanted to say hi because I haven't seen you guys in a little bit, and I'm going to let Justin do Justin Thinks now.
All right, guys. Sorry for the interruption there on the other computer. Listen, real quick, guys out there
I'm just joking.
Oh yeah. Everybody out there in Facebook land tonight, obviously we're back to doing this live stream. So send us any questions you have for the guys, and we'll definitely get to those. And also, guys, tonight is really a special night for the guys from Wilson. James and Matt, they're doing their things, but to have Kyle and Jason here is fantastic. No, I said James and Matt, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Pooey and James are the other two.
There we go. Yeah, got you. Anyway, guys, we're here to kind of as a precursor to the celebration of the Swan Song from Wilson. Thank You, Good Night Live, which will be coming out January 29th, I believe. And then also, guys, if you guys are seriously interested in it, and why wouldn't you be, pre-orders will start on the 19th. So next Tuesday, the 19th, you can start putting in your pre-order for the album. Is it an album, vinyl, CD? What is it?
We're going to have a couple of things. We're not going to have any physical copies because it's 2021, unless, of course, there's demand for them, and which means that like more people buy it digitally. That would assume that they would want physical copies. But we are doing it digitally, and we're going to have some bundles that'll go up at the pre-order. Some picture like commemorative sets that'll go along with the digital download and stuff.
Okay, and guys, if you want to check out what to expect, Dump Truck is now available for you to. You can probably get this on all your streaming services, guys. Is that correct? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. A little precursor to what you're going to get is a full evening. And guys, this was recorded, I believe, your last shows in Detroit back in December of 2019.
Right.
There you go. All right. So, guys, if you want to catch the Wilson experience, make sure and get that starting the 19th. You can go ahead and pre-order that, and then full release on the 29th. Real quick, guys, if you're new to ShipRocked or if you're new to our live stream thing here, again, just go into the comment section and write your questions, your queries. If you want to say hi, we'll try to get that to the guys. Really, there's very few bands. Well, there's a lot of bands that are synonymous with ShipRocked. Hailstorm, Seven Dust, and Wilson. I mean, it's hard for a lot of people to even think about still ShipRocked without Wilson as part of it somehow. Obviously, we're very lucky to have Chad as our host these days, so that's always a connection there. But you guys are sorely missed as a live act and as personalities for the cruise. So it's really great to have you guys here tonight. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be part of the ShipRocked podcast. I mean, it's I've caught quite a few of the episodes, and what you guys are doing is pretty fucking awesome. So thank you for having us, and I'm glad we can celebrate the live album right now.
Yeah, this is fantastic and really interesting, obviously, for me, because now I get to help interview Chad, which is something we've never done before. So I'm always looking forward to that. So let me ask this question to you three. Let me pose this to you. And this is something I have just as a music enthusiast, and maybe some of our ShipRockers have this question too, is like, since the release of the first album to the last one, Tasty Nasty, you guys kind of evolved your sound. Was that just something that evolves as a musician, or did you feel the need to change, or were you guys getting restless with your initial sound and it's kind of time to move forward? I mean, there wasn't huge leaps in like what you guys stylistically, but you know, when you got the Tasty Nasty, obviously more of a hip hop kind of influence and some of the way you approach things. Was this something that just kind of came apart naturally? Is it something you guys discussed and kind of premeditated? How did you guys go about this?
Well, you guys want to take that one?
Sure.
I've certainly talked about it many times. So.
I don't think it was. I mean, I don't feel that it was really premeditated is the right word, because I feel like though it definitely wasn't a natural sounding evolution from album to album. It was kind of just reflective of the time, I guess, and like we had a lot of demos that didn't sound anything like that, but they also were very, very dark. And maybe one day, maybe we'll release some of those demos. Who knows? But there was a lot of demos from that time that didn't really end up going anywhere for whatever reason. And we kind of just it was kind of a dark time for a minute there. There's a lot going on in all of our lives. And one of the most notable things was Jason was actually leaving the band around the start of when we started working on that album. It was right around that time. And we just started thinking we wanted to just do something, just do it differently, you know, do Wilson different than we had before. So we tried to keep the funness of you know, what we thought we characterized as a band, and do it a different way. That's kind of, and so it doesn't come out like sounding like any of our other records, but comes out still sounding fun and like a totally different band, I suppose. It's kind of.
Yeah, I always like to think about it like we came outside in our birthday suits, sort of thing, because the record to me it captured all the parts of our band as humans, the DNA that we are as people, and as you got to know, like somebody told us, I forget who it was years ago, but they said to know Wilson was to love Wilson. You know, like if we can't win in this area, go out there and get in their homes, go play shows. Once they know who you are, they attach themselves to you by whatever design. So, I mean, I know for me at least, going through all the dark times with you guys at that very moment, not just Jason wanting to leave and
No,
subsequently
there was
coming back.
a lot of things in everyone's lives going on at that time. That was just from a band perspective, one of the most notable things that was causing a want for some sort of a large change that needed to be made anyway. And then, you know, and it ended up ultimately, Jason didn't end up leaving really at all at any point. You know, it ended up working for all of us, coming together to do this new sort of thing. Kind of was like a reinvention.
Yeah, I don't think we have ever really like found out like what was the moment that you had that said, I was joking, I'm gonna do this record cycle with, like what was it? What changed?
I mean, it was just starting to write the new material, you know, like to this day, I always tribute so much of that to Scott, you know, our producer, Scott Stevens, you know, just, he brought so much energy and creativity to our like world that I don't think we really experienced as a band before. So when Chad and I went out there for the first time, it was like, you know, Scott comes to the door looking like a surfer dude. He's just like, hey man, what's going on? And like, he's already there with open arms. And like, obviously like being in Los Angeles versus, you know, Detroit, you know, I love Detroit, but you know, gray skies and cold weather, you know, it has an effect on you. So you're starting to write with Scott's presence, and then the idea of being in Los Angeles, it's sunny, there's palm trees, you know, like we could pick limes out of his backyard and put them in our beers. And I think for me, having that experience in such a cool area and then experimenting with sounds that we had never experimented with, it was like that it's like getting my third testicle. It's like, oh my sack just got like
I remember that.
I just got happier.
Yeah.
It got big and happy, and I was just like ready to just see what happened. And like, I mean, I at least, you know, I can't say when we were writing that I was definitely still on the fence for sure about like wanting to be out. But I think after the end of recording the entire record is when I went home and I thought about it. And we had the meeting shortly after. I can't remember that bar in Ferndale, but and that was when I was just like, you know, I have to see this through personally. And as a whole, I felt like it just didn't seem right. And I hate to sound like a narcissist, but it didn't seem right to not be a part of it personally. So that's, you know, make a long story short, that's why book got me back, pumped up to be back in the band again and see it out.
Yeah, and I think what he means by like it, we had never experienced that as a band, is just on that level, to be that open and that creative and be able to kind of do whatever we wanted to do. We weren't offered that opportunity necessarily like that on the middle record. It didn't really transpire that way. And so, you know, we all have a little bit of animosity towards Right to Rise, not to say that that we don't enjoy the songs on the record, but that we came into the studio with most of those songs to some degree, and they were kind of stripped down by the whole process of things. And then, you know, weren't the songs with the creativity and everything that we had brought into it. You know, they were reformatted to the rock format. It was kind of transpired for us, though it was still us writing the songs and us making the decisions. It was a little more coerced throughout.
Yeah, a whisper in the back of your ear. I always egged it too. I don't know if you guys ever did, but I always thought like you were going we went in the room as a square, and they were like, cool. Well, you got to fit through this circle, right? Yeah. So exactly. then you got pushed through this circle, and on the other side you're in the room, right? That the dream is that was our first, Justin. That was our first. Right to Rise was our first taste of like the industry in a bigger way, you know. Where
and this isn't a personal story. This is a story. So many bands could tell the same way.
Some of them react differently to it. And any band that we've ever interviewed, Justin, I think the ShipRockers is. You should be privy to this, that we all go. There's very, very few amount of your heroes out there who haven't been pushed through those those holes to make it all work, because the machine feeds one hand, washes the other, right? And once you're on the other side of the fence, the dream is supposed to be realized, but it just gets harder. It gets harder to stay truer to what it is that your vision is, because you're being driven by decimal points, and that's a fucking awful business to be in sometimes when you're talking about art and commerce.
So
I always
speaking
think
of-
about it, dudes, like turn so real quick. I turn that back around. I think about Full Blast Fuckery and Tasty Nasty being the same thing, doing it the way that we wanted, even though it sonically sounds different. The mental space was the same. We came out with our birthday suit, take us or accept us or love us, and that was just Tasty Nasty is a yin and a yang. You can't have one without the other, because you don't know the other one without the other. It's the idea of you don't know what you don't like in life until you have something that you do like. And quite opposite, you don't know what you do like until you have something that you absolutely don't like.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, the question of how Tasty Nasty was such a change from the others, because it's like if we would have changed the band name and just put it out under as a totally different band, what would the reaction have been then to the music itself, without the connotation of Wilson's past behind it,
Yeah, I think the thing that myself, being a fan and friend, I wasn't when Taste Ass came out. It's like Chad, you just mentioned vision. That's something I wanted to bring up. Is like you guys have, throughout your career, have been very adept at creating very, aside from one or two, very fun, lighthearted videos. And I think that's a lot of things like Tasty Nasty fit into that narrative, with like Baller kind of fit into the Give 'em Hell and things like that, where people are just like very amused. It's just a great comic. You guys, it shows the personality of the band. But the thing for me, I think, was more than the music, was just the look. The denim and dark colors were gone. And it was just this bright kind of thing. It's like, man, it felt like MTV 1982 came right at me, It had a very rock feel with some new elements of hip hop and some other stuff going on alternative, but it had a very new wave look. So that was just, it's one of those things, because we always connect visual with the sound a lot of times. It's just who we are. But when you guys come out in like polka dots and whites and yellows and lime greens, you're like, holy shit. Even Chad's hair, I was like, holy shit, this is different. Because you always remember the first when you guys started out, was like, I couldn't tell sometimes if it was you guys or Valiant Thor up there. So
we
it's
had
just one
a
of
run
those
in
things.
with Valiant Thor.
Yeah. So that was what I think a lot of it came down, Kyle, to that was just basically the whole kind of package change. And if it went back to how you guys really want it to go, because this is going to be your last studio album, then kudos to you guys for sticking for your guns and not listening to those whispers anymore.
Oh.
So, but it ended up working out really well, because the album went really well for you guys, and people were very accepting.
Polarizing is weird, because I mean, that something's doing something when somebody either loves it or hates it. When there's indifference to it, it's most likely set to the wayside. And even coming back to the idea of those colors, the colors schemes and everything that was part of that, we just reinvented what Wilson was. Like you married this with this, but the idea of it was not, I want to say trolling, but it was to make you uncomfortable, rock guy. Like that was the whole point of it, is like, do you like this? Cool. You don't like this? Cool. However, I'm going to be here. We're going to be in this room. So like, if you get to know us, you probably will find that there's a lot in common. And that was the goal, I think, at least from my perspective, was there shouldn't be such a huge divide, especially with the sign of the times. So,
yeah. So, obviously with the band is kind of gone separate ways, and we all hope in our hearts and our minds that someday you guys will get back together and do something special. But we don't know when that'll be, because when it fits in your schedule. So let's talk about life for you guys right now. I mean, obviously we all know what Chad's kind of up to. We talk with him weekly, but Kyle, you're a dad now, and you're working in the solar business, and you are still playing though.
Yes, I am still playing.
Okay,
all the
could you
time.
tell us about some of the stuff you got working on musically?
Yeah, sure. Musically, I'm actually doing a project with Jason called Prescribed Fires, and our buddy Drew. He was actually the original bass player of Wilson before my time. And we haven't done anything in a minute, but I'm actually redoing Drew's Pantry right now. And So we have been spitballing some ideas, and the three of us got together about a month ago and started working on something else. It's kind of, we put out 4 songs, put a lot
Those are
into
great, by the
them.
way, guys. I wanted to say, I don't want to interrupt, but they were great. So
Thank you.
just want to let
Thank you.
Yeah.
We did put a lot into them, but what was cool about it is it started right as the quarantine started, actually just before it. So it's just like the timing couldn't have been better. There was a lot to write about, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, Jason and I did some back and forth. He did all the music for those songs. I wrote and recorded all the vocals at home and sent the tracks back to him. He mixed them in. And it was a longer process than it sounds, because there's just a lot of back and forth, and we just really wanted them to not, we wanted the lyrics to actually speak to what was going on, and the songs to be interesting. But overall, what was beautiful of it was the same thing we talk about with Tasty Nasty, was just the freedom of, we can do whatever we want to do and put it out, and I don't care who listens to it, because I just get enjoyment out of sharing it with my friends and family and, you know, people around. So we put it out there for people to listen, and people were listening. You know, people are listening. we still quit putting out songs. So we said we were going to put them out, and we quit putting them out. But we'll probably put more out in the future. You know, they were listening, and then they just stopped. It's weird.
Kyle,
Everybody.
I'm quitting right now.
Live on ShipRocked.
One day I said the wrong thing, and everybody cut ties. They were like, "No, screw this."
So where can people pick up the stuff you guys have done so far?
Jason,
I mean, just Spotify, Apple Music. We haven't made any physical copies or anything like that.
Okay, so
but
just digitally, you
sites, YouTube, you know, whatever.
Okay, guys. So, guys, again, if in ShipRock land, Facebook land, that's Prescribed Fires. Just do a search for them in your Spotify search bar, and you'll come up with them and kind of hear what these guys have been up to. Jason, I kind of know what you've been up to, buddy, because I was thankfully am honored to be a part of it early on.
Yeah,
and so,
sure.
But if you mind telling folks about you after you got your after you left the band, and I think you finished up your degree, or did you go get your master's?
Yeah, well, I started my master's about a year before the band ended, so I was pretty much taking courses throughout tours and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, literally after our last show, I think I graduated before the last show, and so there was a whole ceremony, and then it was a weird time. It was like a ceremony, grandmother passed away, last show. It was a lot of closure.
Sure.
And from that, I started coming up with this idea of being fueled by the choices we make in life. And as I know, we've talked about before, you did one of the first interviews for us when we were doing that. And the idea became so powerful with me and everything I do in my life. And I just started seeing other people also experiencing that, whether you're a musician, whether you're trying to be a doctor or a professional athlete, you know, we are all fueled by the choices we make in life. So that encouraged me to actually take the brand forward. And it's been an awesome last year of just like meeting new people and like just getting the message out there. And yeah, so I'm continuing to grow that. And then hopefully we can do maybe some live events, whether it's Fueled by Choice with some music, to tie in something that, you know, I'm very familiar with, and just collaborate with people who are doing really cool stuff and that are encouraging others to make good choices. And yeah, but as far as music goes, I'll talk about Prescribed Fires, which I just quit.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Live on the ShipRocked podcast.
Good luck with that, Kyle.
Well, you started building pantries. You can't spend time on lyrics, and
yeah, he didn't call you. He didn't call you. Him and Drew are building pantries, talking shit behind your back.
Jason wanted me to do his pantry. Drew wanted me to do his. I chose Drew over Jason. So
got it.
Yeah, and then I mean, as far as music goes, I have another project called Lost for Life.
Okay.
We're releasing a full length in February, and we released an EP a couple months ago. And same thing, like I connected with an old buddy that was in my high school metal band, and we just started writing. You know, I as Chad and Kyle know, I've always loved heavy songs, so I can create a heavy metal hardcore song in a day. And I had so many of them, and I finally I sent them to my buddy Dylan, and he sent vocals back, and I was like, all right, well, you want another one? And then it just became this: create a song, kind of the same way Kyle and I were. Create a song, send to Dylan to do vocals. Create a song, and then one thing led to another, and it's become more of a serious project.
Yeah.
I can't say too much about what's going to happen, but we just signed to this independent label in Germany called Dead Serious. So got some cool things in the works. But yeah, we're releasing a full length on February 19th.
Okay. So anything right now, is that any stuff that right now is out on Spotify or streaming services as well?
Yeah, we're dropping a new single on this Friday, actually.
Okay, great. So look for what's the single so we can have them look for it?
Give Nothing.
Give Nothing, available for is it Lost for Life? I just want to get it right.
Yeah. Yep.
Lost for Life, Give Nothing, a single available this Friday. So that'd be what is that? The
15th.
15th. Real quick, before I get the question for Chad, I want to bring something in. Randy, one of our ShipRockers, she wants to know, guys. She's going to ask, you guys can collaborate on this. If another band was to cover one of your songs, or if you wish one band would cover your song, who would it be and what song would it be?
So what band?
They want to know what band would you guys love to see cover one of your songs, and what song would you choose for that band to cover?
I know. I'm gonna give him. I'll go last though. You guys go. Actually, I can go first if you want. If you guys aren't ready,
Go for it.
A Dump Truck by Taylor's. Yeah, you know who this is gonna be. So a little. No, I'm joking. I would love to hear. Something covered by one of the new. I love this band called Noisy. They're a three-piece from Europe. They're new. They're not really been talked about, but I think they're fucking incredible. And I would love to hear them cover any one of our songs, just because I think it'd be a really rad take. They don't have a drummer. It's a singer, like a dude who uses a machine, like a beatbox thing, and a guitar player. And they make really rad shit. And it would be cool to hear what they would do with the song of ours. I would choose probably Dump Truck or maybe Fuck Up My High, though, if I were to. That'd be mine.
That's right.
I got one. I think I got a good one. I would love. So we can pick any artist to cover any one of our songs. Okay.
Live or dead, doesn't matter.
Live or dead.
A scenario thing, yeah.
I would say Rob Zombie, Like a Baller.
He'd probably fucking crush it too.
Hey,
he'd make it so much cooler. Like he'd be driving out on stage live, right, with all his cool props, and we'd be like, "We should have done that, man.
Should have done the props."
That'd be awesome.
That's a good pick.
Oh, let's see. How about if a band, like a metal band like Code Orange, did something like "I Can Beat Your Dad"? That'd be pretty badass to hear.
You could.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now,
but only that shirtless bass player, he got to sing it.
I was gonna say, would it be okay if Reba sang it? Would that, because she could probably tear it up pretty well.
You could tear it up too. I mean,
yeah,
pretty, stark contrast there, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, guys,
Those are
thank
both
you.
Good choices.
Yeah, Randy. So Randy, Noisy, Rob Zombie, and Code Orange would be the bands that they would like to cover their tracks. So. Thank you for that, guys. Keep bringing those questions. We want to look at some really. Come on, you guys. You guys have known this band for going on 6 years now, so give us some good stuff.
They want to ask us anything. I do bleach my butthole though, so
yes, he does.
No, I have to ask that one.
Guys, if you guys pay attention to Making Waves, you know that Chad has a preoccupation with his backside. So one of the things that he and I were joking about earlier, and guys, maybe you guys can tag onto this one. And all the touring you've done, the place you've gone, obviously you travel a lot by bus or maybe van in the early days. Was there a certain gas station that had the best latrines on tour? Cleanest, most available, and supplied.
Buc-ee's is the cleanest, best bathrooms, period, that I think I can.
That's like a 5-star hotel, dude.
Yeah, it's like taking a shit at your grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? Like never doesn't smell good. Warm toilet.
Minus the little porcelain rabbits looking at you while you're doing it. Yeah.
I mean, probably. But they're like those little gophers, right? Is that what Bucky was? That would be me. I think my best bathroom ever was there. What about you guys?
I mean, it's so hard to. I was gonna say maybe like a Sheets or like a like one of those like wee Wawas or whatever.
Wawa.
It could have been one of the
The Wawa,
Do you even know what a
are always
Wawa is?
yeah.
cheap.
I mean,
Wawa, for people that don't know, are gas stations that have food that is about the quality of fast food, which is like a step up from gas station food.
Yeah.
You know, so
But on the road, that's like a 4 or a 3 to a 4-star restaurant, like that jump right there.
and they're open like
Yeah.
24 hours, a lot of them. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
key.
Yeah,
They got
Crawling out.
motherfuckers in there cooking like a fast food place at the gas station, and they're like fucking on point. Like I know this, and I can, because it was a regular occurrence, and every band out there does the same thing. It's at 4 a.m. You just left the venue at 2 a.m. You got to drive 6 hours because your drive is 10 hours. And if you don't do some of it, you're not going to make the show in the morning. So you go do gas station dinner.
McDonald's
Yep.
gas station dinner.
Pooey's asshole, which is
All
way worse than
That's it.
those other two.
The burrito and Pooey's shoe. You don't want to eat that. So,
And believe me, he knows how to make a burrito in his shoe.
Jason, what was the name of that? Hy-Vee. That Hy-Vee is that grocery store, right? That we.
Oh yeah.
Was that the best
Well,
one?
we graduated to grocery stores towards the end.
Oh yeah. It's not about gas stations. It's about stopping at the random grocery store. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, Lori wanted to know, besides doing ShipRocked and doing Crowfoot and booking shows, are you working on anything musically?
Yeah. I had
I don't know if we've even talked about. We haven't broached the
no.
subject, believe it or not.
No, I had like a big plan for 2020, but the plan involved me being physically at pretty much 90% of the festivals from the spring to the fall, and obviously that didn't exist. And what I was doing is so our van that we had on our last touring cycle is a Ram ProMaster, and instead of spending money on hotels, because we decided we're no longer going to be doing certain things to our bodies, we bought this Ram ProMaster and built it out to have bunks inside of it. Like it was legit, you know, like it wasn't just like a shitty, like there's a mattress on the floor. They were legit bunks, power, solar power, fan, you know, all this stuff. So when we ended, I had the van, right? And the van wasn't paid off, and it was co-signed underneath my name. So I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? You know, it's built into a touring bunk machine. I'm probably not going to get the same. I couldn't even get as much money as it was worth at the time. So I was going to lose money. So I was going to repurpose the inside, turn it into a mobile recording studio / popsicle food truck van, and take that across festivals while writing a record and videotaping the whole process, writing with friends at different festivals, going to different places, and just making a record throughout the course of 7 months in the van, and then put it out and document the whole thing. And so I wrote preparing like little sessions for all of those moments. And then it didn't happen, and some other stuff went down, and I just I put a pause on it, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But as far as writing music is concerned, I have a ton of verses and choruses.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Matthew, yes, Jason does have work outside of music. He has something called Fueled by Choice. It's his brand. Check it out. It's fueledbychoice.com, right, Jace?
Yeah.
Yeah, fueledbychoice.com. Go check it out, Matt, and everybody else there. It's seriously inspirational. You see people from all different walks of careers and life talking about the things that help inspire them and the choices they've made to get where they're at in life. So it's really interesting, inspiring stuff, and we kind of need it right now. So, Jason, big ups for doing that, brother. Really appreciate that.
it.
So let's talk about the album coming out here soon, guys. Let me ask you a question. You guys knew it was going to be your last shows, and you're going to be recording. Is there a different kind of energy?
You mean was there a different kind of energy?
Yeah, was
at
there
the
different
show?
kind of like energy? Like, was there like we're gonna go? I mean, I know you guys always go all in during your shows, but was there something else? Like, there was another gear in the box in order to come out for the show, and just know you had to deliver, but you couldn't be. You have to still be precise because you are recording live, right? you want to keep it still have a good sound, or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Fuckery
think any
about
of
what
us
do I know?
even remembered that we were recording that live, and that's
Yeah.
the truth of the matter, Justin. Is, and I'll just take this one real quick, and I'll let them talk
Sure.
about the show. The actual recording was something that last minute I asked our front of house guy to bring a multi-track unit, and I was like, probably should record this for no other reason at the time than to have it for history for us as people, you know. And then directly after the show, we had just life happened. You know, I went to the Philippines, and then a bunch of shit happened. Obviously, these guys have things going on. I absolutely forgot. And I don't know if I even told everybody. I think I did in passing. I was like, hey, Ryan's going to record the show, right? But at no way did I remember this until one day I was walking down the street from my house to get a coffee or something, and I got a text message from the dude who mixed the record, who is also a talented front of house engineer, and his name's Josh Sobek, and he did he just off the heels of releasing an I Prevail live record, who he does the front of house for as well. So he probably had just like some gusto in his sack, and he was like, I'll take a hit at this dump truck track. And he said, yeah, and then he sent it over, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, because it came through my phone, I just listened to it while I was walking, and he's like, that's from the last show. I'm like, how do you have this? I didn't know he mixed it. I was like, wow, it sounds amazing. And how do you have this? He's like, I mixed it. I said, okay, mixed it from what? And he's like, Ryan, who did our set, sent me the files. I'm like, oh, fuck. We recorded that show, you know, and then I sent it, you know, I was like, maybe we should put it out. And I showed it to the guys, and we just decided at that moment to listen to it. And we're like, this is much bigger than like us at home showing our, you know, our kids or whatever, like, look how cool we used to be. This is for the fans. Like the people who were there in that room got the seats. You could hear it in the record.
Yeah, you can hear
that energy.
If you were there.
Yeah. And the people who couldn't make it because it was either sold out or they just they didn't live close, because there's people all over the world that came in from Sweden, from
That's what I wanted to talk about coming up too, is the amount of people who came from. I mean, half of the audience was out-of-towners and out of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we just had a lot of people who were like, wish that they could have been there, but due to capacity limits. And the idea of it is like, wow, that's what this is. As far as the energy goes, I'll let these two dudes talk about their version of it, but that's how the whole record.
Before they get to that, though, so this wasn't like, hey, we're gonna have the Rolling Stone mobile unit outside the building. We're doing a live show tonight, guys, so be on point. It was just like, fuck it, play your show, and hey, well, my God, okay.
To be honest with you, we had just so much shit going on. We were playing 2 sets that night. We had to set up a whole auction. We had more production than we've ever had at any show ever that we've ever played. And we're a small camp, you know, like there wasn't anybody on the boots to ground. We didn't have even a tour manager at that point. It was just us, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea of like remembering or even putting something bigger into place was like, that was the last part of my checklist. It was like, oh, live show recorded. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Ryan, can you bring that thing? Cool. Let's go. You know, it wasn't even thought about. So,
okay, let's take that out of the equation then, Kyle and Jason, then forget about the recording, just being the last show. What's the emotional level like at that point? Cause it's, you know, it's, hey, we're last go around for us.
Jason?
Yeah. Well, I just talked to Steve Black last week about a similar question, and he made an observation about how every time he saw one of us, like just walking around, it was, you know, people were wanting to have, you know, really focused conversations, and you know, you take all those conversations that you have with each person, let alone knowing that you have to play 2 sets and then doing the Q&A before and the auction and all it's just everything swelled up to that moment where it was like, the energy was insane. Like it felt like it was like a little, just this fucking ball of energy that was just like right here. Mm-hmm. And it was just swelling, but it hadn't released yet. And then it's like, as soon as we hit the stage for the first show, it was like, just kind of bam. And it was this huge energy release. And you know, that was just the first show. And then the second show was it was just as crazy, if not crazier, because being back in that Pike room, Justin, I don't know if you know the history with that room and us. Like
I really don't know.
Okay, so that was like when before Chad was in the band, Wilson had played a show, and that was when I think Chad was kind of introduced to the band, and then
I booked you.
Yeah. So in terms of the history of that room and us playing our last gig in that room, it's just like the energy just compounding. It was that was the best way I could describe it, just compounding energy that was just like once it started, it just didn't stop. It was crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Seriously. I'll let Kyle go next, but I want to
Yeah.
say something and then.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely insane. I saw people that night that I haven't seen in like 9 years. And I saw people that I haven't seen since we were overseas. And you know, and people that I've never seen before. And there was just so much going on. I mean, like Chad said, that we were so busy as well because there was so much going on, so much setup in such a small crew. You know, we had a couple of close friends helping us the whole day, and aside from that, it was pretty much just us setting everything up and tearing everything down at the end of the night. I mean, we didn't leave until 4:30 in the morning. Later than that, I don't remember. It was something like that.
Yeah.
But you know, the emotions were high. It was beautiful. It was amazing to see that we had affected, you know, so many people's lives too.
Yeah.
To the point that
I-
they were willing to fly across the pond to see us. I mean, you know,
and
well,
considering that's
yeah.
amazing, because that's most people reserve something like that for like a big festival. They're going to get 4 days of big bands, but to come and do for you guys, I mean, obviously, to harken back to the ShipRock mentality with a lot of people there, first time people have been exposed to you, and they kind of came to know and love you from that. So I know for a lot of people who either did, like I think we just did, were the Swedes there? Did they attend that show?
oh yeah.
Yeah, see, perfect sense right there. Like they found out who you were through the cruise and you kept coming on, and it was just like that growing attachment. So you become such an intrinsic part of their life at that point.
Yeah.
So that's really
And
special
vice
stuff.
versa. You know, that I think that I don't want to speak for everybody, but I would assume that everybody's on the same page. It was a lot of anxiety. It was, I feel pressure a lot, like, and that's just how I absorb moments of like niceties. Like I problem with me has always been that when somebody does or says something nice to me, I feel a moment of like extreme anxiety and pressure to return that in some way, shape, or form. And that compounding, as Jason said, feeling throughout the night as you moved from one step to the other step, and just feeling like there was a moment, you feel like you're letting people down because you're ending your band to begin with, right? You know, there's a lot of high emotions, and then when you find out people travel from that far, and like this thing and that thing's going on, and you're not able, like in your mind, just like you want to give them more of your time and more of your energy because it is so special, and you're not able to. It can. I will say this. And this is what I was going to say. I'm glad, and these guys know me as a human, that like idle hands are the devil. Like I can turn really dark when I don't have anything to do, right? And this is something that I worked on through this entire pandemic because I've had very little to do, right? You know, in a sense. So my ability to accept what reality is and not try to change it for what I might see as the better version of reality, was always like a thing that I had to go, push, and that moment I'm so grateful in my head, in my mind, that there was all that shit to do. And by design, these guys know that I would have made it that busy to begin with because of I'm uncomfortable sitting, right? And when you get to that stage in that moment, you realize at that singular second, there's a photo that we put on this Making Waves promo. That was the last photo that we took as a band before we went on stage and we're no longer a band, right? Like a group photo that it wasn't us on stage doing our thing. And I remember that moment and I said, shit, I haven't got to tell these guys all the things I wanted to say about like the times that we spend together, you know? And I think that energy on the stage, when I watched the videos, I saw the photos, and I edited this record, so I got to hear every one of these guys soloed out, just their guitar track, just their vocal mic, just the kick drum, whatever, and I could fucking hear it. I could fucking hear not only how incredible these guys were as players, but I could hear the anxiety and the passion in the moment and that entirety that they also shared that same exact feeling that I had throughout the day, whether I was next to them, in the same room with them, or completely separated from them. You could tell that it was everything to them just the same as it was everything to me. And clearly a lot of people in that room, it's very evident on the record.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that point of anxiety. Like you're saying, the anxiety of not being able to give everyone the time of day. Because like as Steve Black mentioned, like we'd be walking around carrying something. It was like this person, like Kyle said, it's like I haven't seen you in 6 years, and we stayed at your house on one of our first tours, but I have to keep going. Like it's just like that. I know that anxiety was huge. It was like a shaking anxiety.
It's bumming. It's bumming.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you really want to taste, now that you have the story, when this album comes out and you give it a listen to it with different ears now. You're going to listen to it, see if you can hear the guys going through that kind of emotional. This isn't just another night on some random tour. It's the last show they're doing together. Things left unsaid that they probably just left into the music and on stage. So listen for different ears. You can hear a different kind of emotion when you look at it that way.
Absolutely.
It's very true.
Speaking of live, Leslie wants to know, guys, wherever you guys have played in the world, what are your favorite venues you've played?
Oh man, Brass Rail.
They did have good frozen pizza.
Is that massively inside? Is that an insider?
Justin,
yeah, it is.
The Brass Rail.
Kyle.
The Brass Rail is located across the street from Poo Poo Creek.
Kickapoo.
Kickapoo.
What is it? What, fill me in. Fill me in. What is that?
It's also the highest herpes per capita.
We know this because Kyle found it on the internet and showed it to us that day.
I don't know. Some girl outside that told me she recently got herpes was telling me about how, well, it's fine. Here, everybody has it. It's the highest per capita. I'm like,
just got herpes.
Yeah. If you don't have herpes, you can't come in. We don't serve your kind around.
So, Kyle, is that going to be your final answer on the Brass Rail? Is that your final answer?
That's definitely my final answer.
All right, very good. Chad, where's been your favorite venue, man?
Quickly, that was a perfect answer because unfortunately, the best venues that bands ever play, they're very, very hard to remember. It's the worst ones that you're like, and not to say the Brass Rail was the worst venue. It was just too much, like it's across the street from. Actually, it's pretty bad, and we played there a lot. We cut our. I'm gonna go with Brass Rail too, and Max Bar in Lansing, because that. I mean, honestly, it's probably my favorite room that we did ever play because it was when I met those guys.
It was so much fucking fun every time.
Too much fun. It was like imminent death when we were on that stage, and it was by design because we were fucking crazy people when we first started this band, and because there was no rules, there was no boundaries. It was so fresh and so young, and bleeding on stage and hurting ourselves and bringing a bass drum and watching Jason get on top of fucking our old bass players' shoulders and rip solos and chugging beer with each other and throwing shit at Pooey. Like, it's a 200 cap room in Lansing. It has literally no door to the bathroom, I don't think, and the green room is down in the basement, and you sit on top of a case of beer. That's what happens there, and the people who come to the room, they're like, there's no ceiling because the ceiling is a drop well, there's a ceiling, but the drop ceiling is removed so that they can actually sit lights in there to point at the stage. People are like, they just look at it as like a reason to throw their fists into the ceiling and break it. I can't even describe to you how many crazy things happened in that room when we played. That's just another version of the Brass Rail, but it's our Brass Rail,
Well, it's certainly the good thing about the small cap shows is that if you get the energy going, it's got nowhere to go but just come at you so fast.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it gets lost in an arena or a festival, that energy, that connection.
Yeah.
But when you
look at a broken thing and you're like, it can't get worse than this, so let's fuck it up.
Yeah, exactly. So
how about you, Jason?
It's funny. I was gonna say Max Bar. I was trying to think of I was trying to think of like 3 different tier kind of venues. Like obviously like Max Bar, and then one of the venues I can't get out of my head it reminds me of being like a spaceship. Is that I think it's the Sylvie in Madison.
Yeah.
That venue is. I mean, you can play arcade basketball in the green rooms. It's like it's insane.
That place is amazing. That was so cool. But the
well,
Roundhouse in London.
I was going to say the Sylvie kind of reminds me of the European venues that we would play.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of one of those, but
Well, I can't remember the name. What was the name of Oh, geez. All right. When we were all the way up, what was the furthest north we went? Loch Ness.
Scotland.
Well, yeah. In what? Where in Scotland?
It starts with an I think. Inverness.
Inverness.
Yeah.
Inverness.
Yes.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah, I could blank it. So Inverness, we had the most amazing thing happen. I mean, we had no idea when we booked these shows in the UK. We booked them last minute, first off, because Hailstorm offered us the opportunity to tour with them in Europe, and to make it worthwhile for us, we had to also put some shows together in the UK to make enough money to afford the whole trip. So we put these shows together. Had no idea. Some of them were total flops that were just promoter drops. It was like this DIY guy that didn't know even some American bands coming over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Inverness, small basement in Inverness, small little corner stage, terrible power, buzzing coming from these amps like hell, like with secure power conditioners and everything. And 200 people showed up to fill that place out, and were chanting Detroit, Michigan in between the songs. It's just like the moments like that are just like bone chilling, that your hair stands up when something like that happens. It's like you don't know who's going to show up. It could be 5 people.
Yeah.
And
it was their max bar too.
Words. And it's cool to hear, stuff like that.
The universal language of music right there. Did you mention the Roundhouse over there? Did you guys play that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's like playing Royal Albert Hall. That's some kudos to play that room. That's great.
Thank you, Hailstorm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, were you guys headlining? I was like,
find you.
Yeah, we're a pretty big deal over there, bro.
We sold it out.
Hey, man, it's a conversation we have all the time, dude. Some bands translate much different over there than they do here. So I don't know. I figured, it would.
To be honest with you, you're right. We sold more tickets on that tour as a headliner than we did in any state tour at that period of time.
Yeah,
true.
We were shocked by the response over there. We didn't know that there was. We had
that people cared.
Shows. Yeah, that people cared out there.
Yeah. So now the inevitable question, and we'll let I'm going to let Lauren, one of our people, our ShipRockers, answer it. Favorite year of ShipRock for you guys?
Year 1. Sorry.
Yep. 2014.
Our first year, 2014.
Yeah, I mean, you can't comprehend year 1. Like if you're a band going on ShipRock for the first time, especially at that stage of our band when we were like, we were like Chad said, we were party animals, and like that ship was a calling, and
he was like,
and I'm sure many people know the story of the last day when we thought Pooey was literally dead. I shared a room with him, and like I was pushing him, I was pulling him, and like we didn't listen to the rules of like like when you get off the ship, how you have to put your bag somewhere, and we didn't do any of that. And here's Pooey, we have 10 minutes to get off the ship. I'm like trying to just put turn the lights on, scream at him, like hit him, and he just wouldn't get up. It was the weirdest thing ever, but
weird.
We had to pick him up, didn't we? Had to pick him up and literally drop the dude because like we came to Jason's room because it was the last room that I think everybody met at one of our rooms, and they were like, "Where's Jason and Pooey?" And they're like, "Probably at their room. Let's go down there." And we get there, and Jason's like, "I think he's fucking dead." We're like,
"Oh yeah,
what?
That's the first thing he said." We're like, "What?"
Yeah, and then we were like, wake up, not this motherfucking time, brother. And then we picked his ass up and dropped him, and it was like, what?
And I thought I got bit by one of those brown recluse spiders because I had this I don't know if you guys remember, I had this super bad burn in my lower back, and it bubbled up. And the next morning, because we still had to do a few shows with Seven Dust, and it was right on my belt line.
You just straight missed a spot with the sunscreen, dude. You missed like this quarter-sized spot, and we're in the direct sun, and it just tore you up.
Yeah.
We learned a lot on that ship.
Slayer.
Yeah, we learned a lot on that ship.
Well, a lot of people, including myself, always the halftime show was always so much fun because it was just confetti and chaos. And that'll always stick out in a lot of people's minds as their favorite moment, regardless of what other bands have played. That's because it was just like, what the fuck is this? And this is crazy and awesome. And this is our halftime show, and it just kills. It was fucking great. So that's my favorite Wilson moment on board. But Scott Schaefer wants to know whose idea was the women's bikinis.
Not ours. I think it was one of the.
It wasn't yours?
It might have been Christine's. No, it might have been Christine's. Or yeah, maybe it was. It was somebody from the ships. It might have been Christine or Mike's idea because we had to do press. I know we did something because they wanted to do a video. Maybe it was you, Justin. Somebody gave them to us, or like we should get this.
It would have been like, hi guys.
Somebody else decided it for us, and we were like, okay.
Sure.
Like, yeah. I think that's the whole point of Wilson, though, dude. Is like we always said, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
What's the worst that could happen? Pooh
Get the people what they want. Hey, Aaron had a really good question. This is I would like to know what's the weirdest band you ever opened for?
Valiant Thor?
Like, was it
No, got weird.
Like weird what?
like in the sense of like, why are we opening for this band? Why
Bam Margera's Fuckface Unstoppable. That was weird.
What 30 nights in a row?
When
What
someone
was
gets
that? What was Bam Margera's band?
Fuckface Unstoppable.
Is that it's a band?
Yeah. Bam Margera
kinda.
is the lead singer, and the rest of the members are all of the members featured in another band called CKY.
Oh, okay, got you. So CKY. But what can I ask? What was took you strange?
Well, it's just strange when Bam Margera is just like standing on stage and he gets on his knees, and he pulls this electric thing out of his pocket, and then he tases a nutsack in front of everybody. That's like kind of a weird thing to open.
I should probably precurse this just a little bit, Kyle, so we could give like some sort of like something to chew on here. So we said yes, obviously, to the tour because it's Bam Margera. All of us like grew up with watching Jackass in the CKY video, so we're like, what? He wants to take us on a tour? We're in, right? But we had no idea what Fuckface Unstoppable was. All we knew was it's Bam Margera, his brother. From CKY, one of the other CKY guys, some of the Jackass guys, and they're going on tour to play shows. They want you to open, and we're like, sure.
Yes.
When we get there, the first show in Minneapolis, we realized really quick, I mean, immediately, that this was going to be a nosedive into the pavement for them every night. All they did was basically incredible nosedive, but all they did was play Clutch songs and some covers of other shit, and they brought Novak out, who was immensely addicted to heroin at the time. In literally the first 5 minutes of walking into the venue to load in
now, so shout out.
Yeah, he is. The first 5 minutes that we walk into the venue, I was the tour manager for the band at the time too, so I was walking in to figure out where do we load in, what's going on. This guy walks directly up to me as I'm like waiting for somebody to show up. He's like, "Hey man, you got any Oxycontin?" I was like, what? No, Will was with us. That's right. Will was tour managing us then. He's like, "Hey, Will asked me to go over there and walk over there. Hey, just walk over there and see what he says to you." And I said, "Okay." So I walk over there and he's like, "Hey man, you got any Oxycontin?" And I'm like, no, I'll see you later. And I walked out and I went back to Will. And that's when I went to the guys. I'm like, this is going to be weird, man. And I mean, I'll let Jason tell you about all the dicks and balls and stuff we saw. But yeah, it was great.
I was just going to say, well, so first show, and then about 4 shows later, we were running late to a venue. And it took us 17 hours to get there, drove through the night. And it was like in Billings, Montana. It was like a saloon kind of bar.
Okay.
And we
And
pull up.
Snowing.
Yeah,
like,
it
the
was
hardest.
It was terrible. Like this whole tour fucking sucked with weather, but like, so it was snowing terribly. It took us forever to get there. We show up about 15 minutes before we're supposed to go on. We're unloading our equipment and we all look up and it's just Novak completely naked, just playing with his tiny penis in front of all these people, and no one cares. Like everyone's just like,
like there's no shock or awe.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was just like, I came here to see Bam Margera's face in person. I didn't come here to see this little dick in my face. Like,
Yeah, that was before we even got to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Was it wintertime? Would that be acceptable for his small penis? Was he cold?
Yeah.
Or was it no, it's just small.
I Oxycontin penis, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just a whole weird thing, dude. That whole tour, I think should go down in history as like, I don't think there's another tour in that level of a band's career. I mean, we're talking like 400, 500 cap rooms, dude. We're not talking like this is like an amphitheater tour, Guns N' Roses style. This is like the shittiest rooms you could possibly play. And here we are watching what can be easily described as illegal activities on stage every night. I mean, these dudes brought two chicks. I shouldn't even brought that, but there was two chicks that would just show up to every single show, and they would bang them in like never showered. And then all of a sudden, one day, dude, I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but one day, these two dudes dressed like Zach Galifianakis showed up. And then they never stopped showing up. Two fucking dudes dressed like Zach Galifianakis every day. And then Bam paid attention and brought them on stage. We ended up becoming good friends with these guys who lived in Las Vegas. We stayed with them in a mansion because they were just street performers who had made bank. Because this is during the period of time that the Hangover movies were like super popular. Yeah, it was weird, man.
Well, Aaron, there you go. It's Bam Margera's. What was the name of the group again? The what?
Fuckface Unstoppable.
Fuckface Unstoppable. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Fun Face. I'm like, no, it's Fuckface. It's Fuckface Unstoppable.
So real quick before we get into Walk the Plank segment, guys, I'll ask you. This is like a rudimentary question, but what was your early influences, Kyle?
My early influences ranged from Van Halen to Blink-182. Like, that's what I was trying to play in my first week of playing guitar.
Mm-hmm. Just a combination of the two?
Yeah, I loved 80s metal, and I also really loved like 90s punk, and by that I mean Blink-182.
Okay.
That's it.
Dude Ranch on repeat all day.
That's about it.
That's about it. Okay.
No, it's funny in there. I mean, I could go on, but
yeah, sure. But I mean, listen, that's for a lot of people. A lot of people, guitarists hear Van Halen and go, fuck. But then they go Blink and go, oh, I can play that.
Yeah.
And then eventually you learn how to play Van Halen.
And I'm like, oh, I can do that. And you can do that. Like, and then you can get better at it and better at it.
Yeah.
Try different things with it. But simple tapping is a thing that you can do that sounds pretty cool and is fairly easy. You can even do it behind your head. And if you're a guitar player that's just learning how to play, that's something you might want to learn as a cool little party trick, and it'll kind of make you want to keep playing, because you got a little party trick up your sleeve, it's like
all right, guys, there you go. Jason, how about you, bud?
Party trick. I was just trying to think of a few. Well, same thing as Kyle. It's like,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He's way more than a party trick, but
Kyle showed up at parties with guitars.
Eddie Van Halen is nothing more than a party trick. You didn't hear from me.
Yeah, he's the whole shebang. So
too soon.
I mean, for me, a lot of it was 90s alternative.
Okay.
90s alternative, and then the stuff that my dad was listening to, which was Skinner, Billy Squier, Led Zeppelin, to name a few. That's the same thing with Van Halen. It's like when I heard Jimmy Page's guitar, I was like, okay, that sounds cool, but I just don't know how to do it. And then I found myself into punk rock. And then I was learning every Green Day song I possibly could because I discovered how to read tabs. Mm-hmm. So, and then metalcore became a thing, like the New England metalcore scene with like Lamb of God, Kill Switch, and that's what kind of got me into the heavier stuff. And then so 90s alternative, some of the old 80s, 70s stuff, and then a lot of like heavy metalcore stuff kind of is what influenced me for sure.
Okay, I was also a lot of people have been mentioning your Whiplash vinyl back there.
Oh yeah. Michael Mobius gave that to me as a gift when we were in Sweden.
Oh, that's cool.
I was super jealous. I gotta say, I'm not nearly the Metallica fan that Jason is, but I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, because that vinyl was signed by every member of Metallica. Jason? On the left.
Not everyone. Three of the four.
Oh, 3 of the 4? Okay.
Yep. Here, I'll be grabbing it.
Sign it. Who
I
didn't
think-
sign it?
Yeah, who didn't sign it?
Kurt.
Let's kick their ass.
Kurt didn't sign it? What a prick.
No, I think Mike
Sorry, though.
Mobius can verify this, but from what I've got, there's James, Lars, and Cliff.
As long as you got Cliff.
Yeah.
No, but this was signed on the night that Cliff died at that concert.
What?
Yep. He left that concert and died
Yeah.
in Sweden that night. So, and he gave that to Jason as a gift when we were staying with them in Sweden. It was a pretty unbelievable gift. I was like, that is so cool.
My God. Hey,
Shout
real
out.
quick story. Speaking of ShipRockers and Metallica, and I mean, that's hugely generous of what Mike did. But you guys know Wayne, right? Wayne Summers, English kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Master of Puppets backdrop when they were out with Ozzy got stolen, right? Years back. He was able to track it down online and bought it for the band.
No
And-
shit.
Wait, and gave it back to them?
Presented it to him, and they loaded him up with guitars and all kinds of, because he's a Metallica fanatic. But the fact that occurred is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That right there, those are some music loving fools to kind of pull that kind of stuff off. So that's amazing. Gee, Chad, you and I talk all the time. Well, sometimes I don't know what got you started.
The short answer is Nirvana. The deepest answer that I can give is the first record that I ever heard that wasn't what my dad and I listened to, which would be Thin Lizzy and the Black Crowes and things like that. That was played in the garage and what I like knew of music growing up. Once I heard Nirvana and the Toadies, it was like all over for me. I wanted to play guitar. So I started playing guitar. That's how I learned music, was through those two bands. That changed as I went on. I was really into, always been into like Jason said, the 90s rock. I skewed towards a certain area of it. And from there, I found acts like the Beastie Boys, which was like a massive thing for me when I was in specifically early high school. And from there I was introduced to things like Wu-Tang and all of the different early versions of 90s hip hop that was happening. I moved from there easily into Jason said the new metal thing. He said screamo. I was into I'm still into Limp Bizkit, but I got real weird with the new metal. Like I was the guy who bought acts that were signed for like a developmental deal on Roadrunner Records and no one ever heard of, type sort of thing. I just love the idea of what the guitar did for me and what hip hop did for me. And when I was listening to them talk about our influences, I just wanted to circle back real quick and say, because I was like, man, I know what mine are. I'm trying to think of what I know Kyle loved. I know you love Van Halen. I know everything about Jason's love for Metallica. But then I started thinking about that early question about Tasty Nasty. And I was like, we reverted to our teenage selves, the versions of what made us why we made music. The curiosity of it all is what really drove Wilson, I think, is the curiosity of it all. Not just Tasty Nasty, but what it meant to be that kid again, in everything we ever did. I think, at least me, now that I think about it. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you on that, guys. I hope that lets some people out there know where you guys kind of came up with this stuff. What inspired you? So, guys, we're going to do a thing called Walk the Plank. It's one question per. Doesn't really pertain to music. It's just going to be a random question. You guys give it your best answer. Don't have to overthink it. Just something. So I'll ask you first, Kyle. It says, if you could have a view from your back porch of any place in the world, what would it be?
It's funny that you just said that, because then I just looked up at this picture on my wall right here. From Cozumel. It's a great time.
All right.
That's Cozumel shit. That was from not even ShipRocked. I believe that
Motorboat.
wasn't it? That was Motorboat.
Motorboat? Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. A view in my backyard. Um, just like a ton of
You-
trees and some
Okay.
hills, and that's all I can see because I got like 10 acres back there just blocking me from everybody else. That'd be awesome. In Michigan, pretty close to where I'm at right now.
Okay, so just a Michigan with some trees and some hills, mountains, just something really outdoorsy and wilderness.
Yeah, no
If
mountains.
Kyle's neighbors are listening
No
to
mountains,
this,
okay.
that's directly towards you. He's
Yeah.
like, I just
Basically,
want my neighbors to go away,
My
man.
neighborhood, if you knock down all the other houses and just let nature take over, would be perfect.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Jason, what did you do? What did you do when you were young to get in trouble the most?
Oh, I brought a knife to middle school and I got expelled.
Were you doing it to were you under threat from getting beat up by someone? Did
Yes,
someone
yeah.
threaten you? Okay.
To make a long story short, I mean, I know I came out very hot on that, but I was bullied a lot when I was younger, and
Okay.
I didn't intend to use it. It was more of a scare tactic because I thought I was going to get jumped by like 5 football players essentially. So I was the weird kid, and I told someone I had it on me, and then he ratted me out, and then sure enough, I got called down to the principal's office, and one thing led to another. I got expelled, but it was actually a very life-changing event for me. I was, a lot of the kids, even when I was in middle school, that group of kids that I, went to high school with later, but later on in life, a few of them ended up passing away from overdoses and stuff. So I think it was a sign. Anyway, but that was the significant moment of the most trouble I got when I was younger.
Okay.
Did you stab that dude?
Edge blade. Yeah. Why did the guy rat you out? Was he a friend of yours, or was he just like wow, I got information, I got to tell somebody?
Yeah, I think he was doing the thing where he's like, he was my buddy, and he was like, man, I'm on your side. So I think he was trying to essentially scare them by being like, he's got a knife, dude.
Oh God,
that kind of thing. So
yeah.
But yeah, I never had any intention of using it. I was just
Okay.
a 13-year-old kid that was scared of getting my ass kicked by a bunch of people.
There you go. Hey, understandable. All right, Chad, let's see what we got here, buddy. Which of your personality traits would you like to change the most?
Many of them. The one that I think that I can pinpoint is patience. I would like to be more, I'd like to figure out how to be okay with being patient.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if 2020 didn't teach you that, well, yeah. Anyway. Well, guys, listen, we've been with you guys for over an hour. This has been a really great and enjoyable time for us, and the ShipRockers been amazing. They've been stoked that you guys have been here, and obviously, the question always pops up: when are you guys going to get back together? We don't know if that'll ever happen, guys, but if it does, we're definitely going to try to get them on that little boat we do. That'd be kind of fun, huh? But we'll cross that path. Yeah.
I think we could. I think that would be fun too. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, Alan, what do you think? Would that be fun? That'd be a lot of fun, guys. Think that'd be fun? Want to take the wives on a vacation? Yeah, that'd be great.
Wait. Sun and partying?
Yeah.
Get that noise.
Anyway,
guys.
Cover set.
We hate each other too much.
There you go.
That's why it could never happen,
All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you again so much. Remember, guys, the 29th of this month, it's Thank You, Good Night Live. It'll be available for purchase through streaming. So iTunes and then pretty much streaming, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the pre-orders are on the 9th.
Pre-orders on the 19th.
19th, yeah.
If you want a little taste of what they got going, check it. Yeah, there you go. Check out Dump Truck. It's now available on streaming, Spotify, iTunes, that kind of thing. Also check out Prescribed Fires on Spotify and Lost for Life. They got a new song coming out this Friday. And really, guys, thank you so much. Let me do some quick housekeeping before you say goodbye. Guys, remember, ShipRocked. I know we were all supposed to pack up and head down to Miami next week, but hey, it is what it is. So we'll see you this time again in 2022, which means we still have some cabins for you. So if you guys are still looking for a cabin for ShipRocked 2022, those are available. Go to shiprock.com for those. You can also go to Ask For ent.com store and look at some of our new merchandise that is pretty much brand new. So you got hoodies, leggings, t-shirts. The Fuck 2020 shirt is still available, so grab those. They're limited. That's about it as far as that's concerned. So on behalf of myself, Chad, Kyle, and Jason from Wilson, we want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight for this very special night. Guys, if you are checking us out, and we're going to go back to our regular podcast format next week, go find us, subscribe to us, rate, review us, and then tell all your friends about Making Waves. This year is going to be super busy for Making Waves. We're going to do a lot more of these live streams because we certainly do enjoy them. We love the camaraderie of having you guys online with us. And really, thanks, Wilson, for all your war stories tonight. It's been fantastic.
Thanks to ShipRocked. Seriously, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't even have probably done half the things, if any, of the things that we did without the ship. So thanks for everything that you've provided for us. Even the friendships that we have today. Yeah, they still speak volumes because of your loyalty and trust in the fuckery. So all you ShipRockers out there, we love you very much.
You guys didn't realize you were going to enter this new term into the lexicon for a lot of people was fuckery. I didn't even exist it before, and then I found out I was like, fuckery. That's a great fucking. How did I not know that word? But that's fantastic. So if there's anything I got from it's Wilson, I got fuckery. So thank the Lord. Kyle, Jason, best to your families, best to everything, best of luck in 2021 as you go ahead with your musical projects and obviously your day-to-day jobs and life. So good luck with that stuff, guys. On behalf of myself, again, Chad, our show producer, Al, our show coordinator, Heather Smith, our engineer, Jennifer Zito, and of course, the captain, Alan Koenig. Thank you again for coming here. And we are part of the Sound Talent Media podcast family. So guys, remember to rock hard and vacation harder. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you,
Thank
guys.